was Libby like her best friend, or just one of a group of friends?
They seem to be pretty close, but like most girls, there's more time on again, off again, depending on what I would say, the seasons. Sports wise, they spent a lot of time together because they were both playing volleyball. Um, but, they're both in different things. So uh, they all had their own circle of friends. And I remember, girls being girls, and much like boys, and it's middle school, they have their own little tiffs here and there, and
Yeah,
then life moves on.
sure.
It's not the end of the world.
Um, what was her favorite subject in school? What did she enjoy learning about?
Uh, she read a lot, so I think she was like myself. Um, like to know a lot of about a lot of different things. Um, Towards the end of eighth grade, when they were talking about class schedules for their freshman year, she and Libby had been talking about doing um, the forensic science, which I was like, really? Okay, well, remember you're 13, so don't be hesitant to like change your mind.
Yeah.
Like, this is fine if that's what you want to, but
Like as a
let's,
career, she
yeah,
was looking down the road
apparently she
to.
was.
Oh, okay.
She had a little all scheduled out on her own little thing about the classes that she wanted to take, and of course, I was adamant that she continue band.
Yeah. What did
We
she play in the band?
saxophone.
No,
They both did.
that's a hard instrument. I remember
Too
wanting to
hard
play
for
the
me.
saxophone.
I can't play reed instruments.
Yeah, me
I
either.
couldn't. My sister can also play all of them, and two of my sisters both play reed instruments.
And that must have been like half her size or something.
Pretty close. It
Yeah.
sure seemed like it. It sure seemed like it. So I mean, there were just I wasn't adamant that she decided right now as a near freshman what she was going to do the rest of her life, because that changes every day.
Yeah, sure.
Especially at that age, it's whatever their friends are doing or whatnot. So I was like, okay, well, if that's what you think you want to do, then go ahead. Uh, but you never know.
What was she concerned about? What was she thinking about in January, February of 2017? Where was her mind? Was there a boyfriend? Was there?
I've heard rumor there was a boyfriend from a different school. That was uh, she also had Facebook, but she was smart enough to block mom because she wasn't supposed to have it. So that was one of those little things that when much like that photo on the bridge, after with the Snapchat that had come up, and I'd seen that, I'm like, she is so grounded when she gets home. I mean, so grounded. And then the Facebook thing came up, and then this boy apparently that she knew. So, but again, they're good kids, but teenagers are teenagers. So
Yeah, sure.
her her list of grievances against the world were very minimal. Seriously, she was a good student. She did not get in trouble um, in school or out of school. She was a well-behaved kid for the most part. Very smart, very cautious with things.
When you're walking around the house or driving through the car, what's a memory that pops into your mind that's typical Abby? Like,
Well, when we were in the car, she had the worst sense of direction I'd ever seen in my entire life, and I hear Libby probably did as well. I don't know how many trips we've taken to Monticello over the years and the time we've been down here, because that's where your Walmarts and your little shopping centers other than going to the mall. And she would read a book in the car, and no doubt within 8 to 10 minutes down the road, she'd kind of look around, well, where are we at? I'm like, how many times have we taken this road that you don't know where we are or how close we
right.
are? I mean, it was one of those things. So I
Well,
think
she had a
about that.
chauffeur. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about
Well,
it.
but I also was, I guess I was at that age, the amount of time that I'd spent in the car with my folks, I was kind of always watching where we're going, and I'm pretty good at getting to and from places after the first time by just looking at things, following along. Not everybody is gifted with that, and Abby was not one of those people. Uh, when it's here at home, there's so much stuff. The cards that came in, can't get rid of anything. Uh,
Sure.
pictures. The kids are driving now.
Yeah.
The kids in her class are starting driver's training.
Wow.
Just scary enough for all of us.
Yeah, right.
And, they'd be sophomores this year. So, thinking you're halfway.
Had she ever gone to that bridge before?
Yeah.
Is that a place that?
No, not a frequent zone. Because she couldn't drive.
Yeah.
Our family has gone out there. Myself, my parents, and my younger sisters had gone out on a fall day years ago. I think it was around 2012. I'd have to look at Facebook, but that's what the timeline tells me. And so we had been out there. I took her swimming out in that area when she was 6, 7. It's a nice little sandy area down from the bridge.
Like in the river?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very pretty spot.
Is that like a popular swimming spot?
I don't think so.
But people go down there.
I'm sure they do. It's a nice walking path. It's kind of the trail that leads off of the bridge that gets down to the water that way. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not difficult, but there's a steep slope, and it's overgrown, so you're always kind of having to watch what you're doing. And then when you get down and you enjoy your day and you're headed home, and then you realize how big of a hill you got to go back up. It's like, oh. But I remember having gone down there, and she had spent some time, trying to catch minnows and skipping rocks. And I've got some nice pictures from down there from the couple of times we'd been down.
Had you ever walked over the bridge?
No. I'm terrified of heights.
Had she when you guys were there before?
I never would have allowed it. Never.
You see pictures online and you think, oh, it's an old bridge and everything, but I went down there last week and it's something different in person. Like, these are old railroad ties and the spaces in between them,
Yeah.
And she's such a small kid.
Yeah.
That, you worry, like I'd worry, and I'm not small by any means, that I could slip and fall through one of these.
Yeah,
these
and then I understand that there are some that are missing.
Yeah. Did it surprise you when you heard that she had crossed this bridge?
Oh, I was like level 10 livid.
Yeah,
I was like grounded. So grounded, like you don't even know what grounded is until you get home from this little excursion. Of course, that was later in the evening. That was already 6-ish, I think, when we were able to find the Snapchat photo. Maybe later. It was dark because it was February, so it was dark.
Who found the Snapchat photo?
I think Becky got it, or somebody else had seen it.
So it went out kind of to her followers, the Snapchat followers. It just went out there.
Mm-hmm. Libby had taken pictures on her phone. Because they didn't either one of them bring out a professional camera by any means.
Yeah.
Or any camera whatsoever. They were just out there. So, having seen that, I was like, oh, she didn't even know how grounded she is. Doesn't even know. And that's what I cringe even thinking about it. I have a hard time out at that bridge. I've gone a couple of times since all of this. And
did you think about crossing it after all this?
Oh,
happened?
God, no. Yeah. No. I had a friend of mine go with me, and somebody familiar with the area lived here most of his life, and I was literally 3 railroad ties in, and already my stomach's clenched, and I'm having a hard time breathing, and he's like, it's not that bad, and there's only 1 railroad tie missing out here. I'm like, no, I'm a 0 railroad tie missing.
Yeah, right.
No.
Even if they weren't missing.
Even if they weren't missing, but so there, no missing railroad ties, and I never will.
Yeah.
I cringe and I get angry at the folks that traipse out there like it's
a challenge.
No, it's like an amusement park to them. It's
sure.
like what's the phrase I'm thinking of? It's like a hot spot. It's like everybody wants to see.
Yeah.
People just want to go, and it's like this. There's a memorial there.
Yeah.
2 little girls died here, horrifically. Why does everybody want to come out and see it? I don't.
Yeah.
It's upsetting. It's like somebody taking a video of her headstone at the cemetery and posting it on YouTube.
Sure.
That's private. That's mine. Her room is private. It's ours. Why do people need to go out and see?